Imagine a beast of burden, a camel, strong and willing, trudging across an endless desert. It carries a growing weight, not just physical goods, but values, traditions, and thou shalts imposed upon it by society, by family, by the world outside. It bows its head, accepting every load, believing this burden is its purpose. This is the first stage of the spirit, a creature of obedience. Now, look inward. Do you recognize that camel? That relentless, wearying weight of expectation you carry, believing it to be your own cross, your own noble duty? Friedrich Nietzsche is one of the most influential and misunderstood philosophers in modern history. His insights into human existence and values continue to resonate with people today, challenging us to rethink our assumptions about life and our place in the world. He called this the camel spirit, and most of us live our entire lives trapped within its silhouette, never questioning the cargo we were handed at birth. We chase prescribed milestones, seek validation from established hierarchies, and cling to moral codes we never truly authored. We mistake the map for the territory, the inherited script for our own story. But what if this weight is not a test of strength, but a cage? A cage so familiar, its bars feel like a part of your own skeleton? What happens when the camel finally stumbles, when the weight of a life lived for others finally cracks the foundation of your soul? This is the great, unasked question hanging over your life. This is the silent, screaming tension between the person you were conditioned to be and the self you were meant to become. The journey does not end in the desert of submission. A terrifying, necessary transformation awaits, a descent into chaos that is the only path to true freedom. But what monstrous, beautiful shape must the spirit take to shatter its own chains? This crushing weight, this psychological inheritance, is not an accident. It is the quiet, efficient machinery of what Carl Jung termed the collective unconscious, a vast, subterranean ocean of inherited archetypes and societal norms into which we are born. We are taught to seek comfort within this inherited structure, to find solace in the predictable. Yet, as Nietzsche warns, this comfort is a phantom. The true cost is a slow spiritual death by 1,000 compromises. We willingly anesthetize ourselves with routine, with the numbing drone of daily life, because the alternative, confronting the sheer, terrifying scope of our own freedom, is too vertigo-inducing to bear. We become like prisoners who, after years in a cell, are offered the key and refuse it, preferring the familiar confines to the terrifying expanse of the unknown. This is the psychological root, a deep-seated flight from responsibility for the self. Jean-Paul Sartre called this bad faith, the act of lying to ourselves to escape the anguish of our own liberty. We pretend the roles we play, the good employee, the dutiful child, the respectable citizen, are our essence, rather than costumes we can remove. But this self-deception has a price, paid in the quiet currency of anxiety, a lingering dissatisfaction that whispers you are living a life that is not your own. The camel's load grows heavier with every unchosen step. But what is the ultimate toll of this comfortable confinement? What unseen consequences fester in the soul that refuses its own becoming? The consequence is a phantom life, a quiet erosion of your essence. You become an echo of someone else's voice, a character in a play you never agreed to write. This silent surrender shapes your reality on a neurological level, reinforcing cognitive biases that favor the familiar and filter out the disruptive whispers of your authentic self. Every time you choose the path of least resistance, you strengthen the neural pathways of compliance, making the cage of your conditioning feel more like a comfortable home and less like a prison. This is the great, unseen tragedy. You begin to police yourself. The external voices of tradition and expectation are internalized, becoming a relentless inner critic that vigilantly suppresses any impulse, any dream, any spark of rebellion that threatens the established order. Your world shrinks to the dimensions of the acceptable. Your relationships become transactions of validation. Your ambitions become diluted versions of what you were told to want. A deep, existential boredom sets in, not a mere lack of entertainment, but a profound nausea from a life lived on the surface, a life devoid of personal meaning. The weight you carry doesn't just bend your back. It dissolves your will, leaving a hollowed-out version of you to navigate the world. But if this is the trap, a life of quiet desperation, where do you even begin to look for the key? What is the first violent act of rebellion required to shatter this self-imposed exile? The rebellion begins not with an outward explosion, but with a terrifying, inward declaration, the total rejection of the inherited script. This is Nietzsche's lion spirit, a roaring no to every sacred thou shalt that has defined your existence. It is a violent, necessary act of spiritual vandalism against the idols of your tribe. Imagine looking at everything you were taught to value, success, morality, purpose, and declaring, I am the ultimate judge of these things. This is not a shift in opinion. It is a revolution of the soul, a declaration of sovereignty over your own consciousness. This requires a counterintuitive embrace of what you have been conditioned to fear most, your own chaos. To break the chains of an ordered but false world, you must willingly descend into the wilderness of your own unexplored potential. This is the path of those who broke free, from the existentialists who stared into the abyss to the artists who forged new realities from their inner turmoil. It begins with a single heretical question, asked with ruthless honesty. What do I truly desire, stripped of all expectation, all hope of reward? The answer is your first act of creation. But this fierce no is only the prelude. The lion's roar clears the desolate field. But what then? What comes after the destruction of your old world, when you stand alone amidst the ruins, free but unmoored? The ultimate truth is this: the roaring lion, the destroyer of worlds, is not the final form. Its glorious no was merely to create a sacred silence, a cleared space for the final, most profound transformation, the child. Nietzsche's third metamorphosis. The child is the spirit that says a sacred yes, not out of obedience, but out of a boundless creative will. This is the paradigm shift that redefines everything. Your journey was never about merely rejecting the old values. It was about becoming the creator of your new ones. The struggle, the chaos, the rebellion, it all suddenly coheres into a single devastatingly clear purpose: to grant yourself a new law. You are not a pilgrim seeking a pre-written truth at a mountain's peak. You are the mountain, the pilgrim, and the God who creates the truth upon it. Your life is not a sentence to be served, but a poem to be authored. This is the final, most powerful realization. Freedom is not the absence of chains, but the presence of your unbridled, creative power. You are not meant to find your purpose. You are meant to build it from the raw materials of your experience, your pain, your joy. So stand at the ruins of your old self, not with grief, but with the innocence of a child and the terrible responsibility of a god. What world will you choose to build now? The eternal recurrence is not just a philosophical idea, but a way of living. If we had to live the same life over and over, would we be proud of the person we are becoming? Would we want to repeat our actions and choices infinitely? Nietzsche's ideas challenge us to reevaluate our priorities and strive for excellence in all aspects of life. By embracing this mindset, we can transform our approach to challenges and see them as opportunities for growth. Nietzsche believed that embracing suffering and chaos is essential for personal growth and authenticity. He argued that we should not shy away from difficulties, but rather confront them head-on and use them as a catalyst for self-improvement. This lesson is often ignored in today's society, where comfort and security are often prioritized over challenge and risk-taking. By embracing struggle, we can develop a stronger sense of self and live more authentically. In a world that often seeks comfort and security, Nietzsche's secret is more relevant than ever. By embracing struggle and chaos, we can transform our lives and live more authentically. So, what do you think about Nietzsche's philosophy? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you're interested in exploring more ideas on existentialism, be sure to check out my next video.